ready to mingle with the doomed house guests? The contract is waiting. Do you like parties? Because you've been invited to one. Of course, you'll be killing all the other guests. Are you ready to attend? Splendid. You need to go to the city of Skingrad, to the large house known as Summit Mist Manor. There, you will meet up with 5 very unlucky guests. In order to receive your bonus, you must kill each guest secretly, one by one. If anyone sees you committing murder, the bonus is forfeit. The guests believe there is a chest of gold hidden in the house and have agreed to be locked inside until one of them finds it. In fact, the guests believe the key to the manor is inside the chest, and only by satisfying their greed will they be allowed to leave. Poor fools. There is, of course, no chest of gold. The guests will find no key. After you arrive, the doors will be locked behind you, as everyone expects. When all the guests lie dead, you will be free to leave. Now go. See the doorman at Summit Mist Manor. He will explain the rest. Have fun. Each guest, at some point in the past, wronged their mysterious host. Now, he's hired us to exact his revenge. Go now, dear family member, and may the Night Mother wrap you in her cold, loving embrace.
I know what you're thinking. Gogrun, he's too big to be sneaky. Well, you're right. Me, I like to just go in and hack my targets to pieces. Ha!
If you really plan on killing the guests one by one, make sure that when you strike hard. Don't want anyone running for help, do you? Happy hunting, my sister. So the last guest finally arrives. I'll tell you what I told all the others. You go in, I lock the door. You don't come out until it's over. Now I'll tell you what I didn't tell everyone else. We have the same mother, you and I. And she wants you to have this. It's the key to the house. I guess someone else has already told you the other details. Kill all the guests, then leave, right? Well, you better get in there. Time to mingle. Go, socialize. Talk to those fine people, and then plunge your knife into their throats when they ain't looking.
The 6th guest has finally arrived. Well, it's about time. Do you know how long we've been waiting? It seems like an age. Whoever invited us here must at least know us, don't you think? In any event, we're all stuck here together, so we might as well get acquainted. The rest of us have already traded introductions. I'm Matilda Petite. The others are Nels the Naughty, Neville, Devisi Dran, and Primo Antonius. Now, who might you be? Please, tell us a little bit about yourself. Oh, you poor dear. Well, this does make things difficult for me. I want to find the gold as much as anyone, but you need it so much more than I do. The little dark elf. She seems a nice enough girl. But to be perfectly honest, I've never trusted their kind. That's right, it's a Breton name. I'll have you know the Petites are one of High Rock's oldest and most respected noble families. From what I gathered, he's a retired soldier. He's been all across the Empire fighting in various campaigns. Goodness, he's handsome. He's a Nord. Mead-swilling barbarians, all of them. He's young, well-educated, and obviously full of himself. Not much different than any young nobleman, really. Oh, yes. Maybe we'll speak again.
So here we all are. Certainly is a nice house.
So, Nord, if you find the gold, what will you spend it on? Wait, let me guess. A sleazy whore and a nice new battle axe, am I right?
I'm going to open a tavern. Not that I'd welcome your patronage. No pigs allowed inside, you see. You Legion types tend to stink up a place.
A tavern? Oh, I should have known. Leave it to a barbarian to spend an entire chest full of gold on beer and me. How pathetic.
You can call me a barbarian. It's true, and I'm proud of the fact. But you call me pathetic again, and I'm going to show you just how barbaric I am.
With every word you speak, you're just proving me right, Nord. Your kind has contributed nothing to our empire, and never will.
My kind, as you like to call us, are plenty happy serving our own needs, while your useless empire crumbles down around you.
Your words border on treason, Lord, and I will not tolerate them. You will respect the empire. You will respect the memory of our dear emperor.
Bah! Don't get your linens in a bunch. You have no authority in this house or anywhere else. You're not even in the Legion anymore.
Nevertheless, I still serve the Empire in my heart, and will not abide such talk. Walk away from me now, barbarian, or you'll regret your arrogance.
I was done with you anyway. I can only talk to an ex-Legion pig for so long before my ears start bleeding. Besides, I need a drink. Well, hello there. Nels is my name. Some call me naughty, but don't you believe it. Let me confide something in you, my friend. Dovisi is the spitting image of my own daughter. Her skin is darker, of course, but that sweet face. My daughter was killed, you see, a few years back by bandits. I'm sorry. Please forgive a father's heavy heart. You should have seen the old biddy trying to talk to young Primo Antonius. She may be a noble, but he looked down on her like a scullery maid. I will confide something in you, my friend. I despise Neville and all his Imperial Legion ilk. They are useless, uncaring tools of corruption. 3 years ago, my village in Skyrim was attacked by bandits. We went to the nearby Imperial Legion outpost, but they refused to help us. My dear, sweet daughter, Olga, was killed that day. She was murdered, and the Legion would do nothing to help her. Neville and his kind are scum. Ah, don't let the name fool you. I had a bit too much mead a few years back, and there was this tavern wench. Anyway, just call me Nels. Primo is young and rich. I can sense a good, decent person in there somewhere. He just has to get his priorities straight. All right, then. I guess I better start looking. That gold's not going to find itself.
Can't quite decide where I should look. I don't want to break anything, but the chest of gold could be hidden anywhere.
I can't quite decide. Hello, I'm Dovesi. I'm very pleased to meet you. Now that you're here, we can really start looking for that chest of gold. What I mean to say is, before you arrived, we all just sort of glanced around a bit. Now that we're all officially here, we can look in earnest. Not much to tell about me, really. I'm from Morrowind originally, but my family moved to Valenwood a few years ago. Well, I really don't know her, but she seems like a very respectable old lady. He's a very serious man, but I guess that's normal for a retired soldier. I wonder what makes him so naughty. He seems nice enough to me. He's very handsome, but please don't tell him I said so. All right, then, I can't quite decide where I should look. I don't want to break anything, but the chest of gold could be hidden anywhere.
So, you finally showed up. It's about time. People of my station are not accustomed to waiting. She's quite beautiful, isn't she? A little young, perhaps, and not exactly highborn, but she possesses a unique elegance. The old woman, she's quite a pest, really. I think she's gotten it into her head that I need mothering or something. She is sorely mistaken. He reminds me of the guards under my father's employ, strict, no nonsense, and ready to fight at a moment's notice. There's something about Nels I can't quite place. He's not for money, that's obvious, but I don't think he's quite the buffoon he seems either. It's a regal name from a rather regal family. Indeed, my father owns more property than the East Empire Company. Oh, yes. Maybe we'll speak again later.
Ah, yes, the sixth guest. I'm Neville. It's nice to make your acquaintance. Ah, yes, Dovesi Dran. She's a dark elf originally from Morrowind, or so I hear. I get the sense she doesn't like me very much. Matilde seems like an upstanding citizen of the Empire. She respects the law and recognizes the Legion as Tamriel's greatest defense against evil. I'm a Red Guard, though I've never actually been to Hammerfell. I was born here in Cyrodiil. My family has been in the Legion for 3 generations. Nels is a Nord, and like all Nords, he's a lawless barbarian with no respect for authority. Primo's a blue blood, a noble through and through. He thinks he's better than most people, and in most cases, he's right. Go ahead. That will get you something. Dovesi is a dark elf. They call themselves Dunmer. When I was young, I spent some time stationed on Fort Moonmoth, on their homeland of Morrowind. I have great respect for the Dunmer people. They are strong and noble and generally understand the importance of law and discipline. Unfortunately, Dovesi doesn't seem to like me very much, but I don't blame her. The young ones tend to have problems with authority figures. If I may be honest, I feel a bit sorry for the old woman. She comes from a noble family, I'm sure, but seems a lot less well off than she should be. Know what I think? I think that barbarian will do anything to get his hands on the chest of gold. His kind are greedy and vicious, all of them. Trust me, I know. I was stationed at Fort Frostmoth for a few years on the Isle of Solstheim. Those Nords are a bunch of animal-worshipping savages. They're all the same, full of meat and something to prove. We lost a lot of good men up there. A lot of good men. I'll confess that I have no idea why Primo is here. The kid's got more wealth than the rest of us combined. He sure doesn't need a chest of gold. Maybe he's incredibly greedy, but I don't think so. My guess is that Primo is so bored he simply has nothing better to do. I have a good idea.
Well, here we all are. It's funny how money can bring people together, don't you think? We'll see. For me, thanks. Nels isn't drunk. He doesn't even try to hide that fact. But what else is he? When the liquor is dried, what remains of the man? I think Nels drinks to forget, maybe about some tragedy in his life. He plays the buffoon, but I sense a deep sadness in him. I know he's a retired Imperial Legion officer. Apparently, he's been in campaigns all across the Empire, from Skyrim to Morrowind. I also get the sense that he's very eager to find the gold. I can't imagine his life of servitude to the Empire left him with much to retire on. Apparently, the poor old woman thinks she's from a well-to-do family. Truth is, I have servants with more nobility in their blood than her. Can I be honest with you, my friend? I find Dovisi captivating. She possesses a beauty beyond compare. Maybe you could do me a favor. If you speak with her, put in a good word for me, would you? I would be forever in your debt. I have a good idea where that chest...
Have you spoken to the other guests yet? I suggest you get to know everyone. Who knows how long we'll be stuck in this house together. All right. See? Was that hard? Personally, I think she's a little floozy. She's been eyeing young Primo Antonius, probably smells his wealth. Well, if I can be perfectly honest with you, I find Neville quite attractive. Red Guards are so exotic, don't you think? Oh, that man disgusts me. I find his entire manner offensive. Why, just before you got here, he told me the most off-colour joke about an Argonian maid. It's obvious that young Primo comes from wealth. A chest full of gold would be mere spending change for him. I have a good idea where that chest might be. That gold is as good as mine.
Well, my friend, the search is on, eh? I wonder how much gold is actually in the chest. 1,000 pieces of gold? 10,000? I guess it all depends on the size of the chest. The bigger, the better, of course. But where would our mysterious host have hidden such a thing? Tell me more. For me? Thanks. I have a good idea where that chest might be. That gold is as good as mine.
This is all so strange, isn't it? I don't know why I was invited to come here. But the gold could really help my family. I do hope I find it. I'm listening. See? Was that hard? It's pretty obvious that Primo comes from a wealthy family. He would never be interested in a girl like me, I'm afraid. He did? Oh my goodness, what should I do? Should I talk to him? Or maybe play hard to get? Or should I, or would that be too forward? Oh, you think so? I mean, it is rather forward, but I like it. All right, then. I'll wait for him in his room upstairs. Oh, thank you, thank you. Every now and then he looks over at me and smiles. I think he's sweet on me. If Nels finds the gold, maybe he'll want some company. I know he's a retired soldier. But not just a soldier. He was an officer in the Imperial Legion. I hate the Legion and everything it stands for. When those soldiers came to Morrowind, they persecuted my people and stole our lands. Neville may not be in the Legion anymore, but who knows what atrocities he committed. Honestly, I don't think she likes me. It's because I'm a Dunmer. I heard her say something to Neville, and it wasn't very nice. I have a good idea where that chest might be. That gold is as good as mine.
Hello there. So, are you ready to search for the chest of gold? I'm confident I'll find it. Not that I need the money, of course. My family is quite wealthy. I have a good idea where that chest might be. That gold is as good as mine.
Is that why someone invited us here? To kill us? This is horrible. Please, sweetie, stay close to me. The killer might strike again, whoever he or she is. One less dark elf in the world. And now there's one less person to find the gold as well. It's a good day, don't you think? Neville has a strong sense of justice, I can tell. If we find out who the killer is, he'll take care of things, if you know what I mean. I worry about the boy. What if the killer is after money? Primo is quite wealthy. He could be the next victim. You think Nels might be the killer? Well, he plays the buffoon, but it could all be an act. He's an Ord, and they're such a savage, uncivilized people. You'd be smart to stay with the rest of the group. It's just not safe to go wandering off alone with a killer on the loose.
What kind of party is this? Someone has been murdered! I'm beginning to get a bad feeling about all of this. I'd leave right now if I could. Well, the money means nothing to me. I just thought it would be fun. Who among us is vile enough to take the life of such a beautiful, precious creature? If I find out who did this, they will pay with their life! Now that someone's been killed, Matilda may be a little frightened for her own safety, but she's still more concerned with finding the hidden gold. Matilda claims to be from one of the High Rock's most distinguished noble families, but I have a feeling their fortune has long been squandered. Neville seems different now that someone has been killed. More alert, more aware. Something tells me he's not going to take all of this lying down. He's a trained soldier after all. I bet if anyone can figure out what's going on here, it will be him. Before the body turned up, I got the sense that Nels was a bit of a drunkard. But he seems truly unnerved now and is drinking rather excessively. Wonderful. People are dropping dead and I'm trapped here looking for gold I don't even need. I'll be happy just to find the key and get out of here.
A guest has been murdered. So it begins. You mark my words, this entire party is a trap. Someone wants us all dead and now they have their chance. I was in the Legion for a great many years, my friend. I saw a lot of horrible things, including the murders of children. It made no sense then, it makes no sense now. But don't you worry. I vowed to bring Divisi's killer to justice. She's afraid, and for good reason. If the killer strikes again, they may very well pick an easy target, like Matilda. She needn't worry, though. I'm a trained soldier, with 20 years of experience dealing with situations like this. On my honor, this killer will be caught and dealt with. Nords are raised to be cold-blooded killers. Don't take your eyes off Nels if you value your life. I'll bet anything he's our murderer. To be honest, my instincts tell me the kid isn't the killer. Sure, he's a bit obnoxious, but that doesn't make him capable of murder. I knew this little party was too good to be true.
Have you heard, my friend? One of our fellow guests has been murdered. This bodes ill for our stay and our search for the gold. No. When I looked into Devisi's face, it was like peering at my own daughter. I feel like I've lost her all over again. It seems she's upset about the murder, but there's something else. It's almost like she's glad there's less competition for the gold. Greedy old bat. I really have to wonder where Neville was when someone was getting slaughtered just a few rooms away. Maybe he was busy looking for the chest of gold. Or maybe he was right next to the victim with his hand on the hilt of a dagger. Think about it. Whoever the killer is will have to be strong and quick. Now, I'm not saying Primo is our murderer, but you have to admit it's at least possible. You'd be smart to stay with the rest of the group. It's just not safe to go wandering off alone with a killer on the loose.
It's not safe to be alone. I certainly don't want to be the third victim. We're being stalked like animals in the forest. I'm still not sure if the killer is one of the other guests or is hiding somewhere in the house. One thing I do know is that the killer won't just stop with two. They never do. You and I, we need to watch each other's backs. I've got my old Legion armor and sword in a chest upstairs. It's time I geared up and showed this coward just who he's dealing with. Mathilde's murder saddens me, friend. But not for the reason you may think. 10 years ago, when I was in my prime, this now I'm old. My instincts have failed. I let that woman down. That mead-swilling barbarian killed those two people. I'm sure of it. I don't have the proof just yet, but I'm watching him. Don't you worry, my friend. Nels won't get away with this, not on my watch. Primo may be young, but he looks strong, and I'm sure he could handle himself in a fight. I think I'm going to enlist his help. I'll talk to Primo. Give him a bit of encouragement. If he and I are vigilant, we may prevent the killer from claiming another victim. Stay safe, if that's even possible.
The two of us have been murdered. One of us is a killer, but, dear friend, have you heard? Two of the guests now lie dead. If I find out who did it, I may have to take matters into my own hands. Between you and me, I think Matilda found the gold, and one of the others killed her for it. Maybe that means the rest of us are safe. If that's the case, then the killer got what he was after. The rest of us needn't worry about our own safety. Well, Neville is a trained soldier. He was in the Imperial Legion for 20 years or so, I've heard. He certainly knows how to kill. Still, I don't think he's the murderer, no. Quite the contrary. I think he takes the murders personally. Feels he should have protected the victims. To be honest, I'm not sure if I trust him. He's a hard drinker, but there's something more. Something in his eyes. Hard and calculating. Don't go far. It's too dangerous to go wandering around this house.
I haven't seen death like this in a long, long time. It's a bit more than my nerves can handle, I'm afraid. I plan to gather up every drop of drink in this house and keep it to myself. If things get any worse around here, I find comfort there, you see. Some bloodthirsty monster killed that woman in cold blood. It's obvious to me one of the other guests killed her to eliminate the competition. Assuming that's true, who's next? You? Me? We need to keep our eyes open, friend, and we'd do well not to trust the others. With two of us now dead, it seems like the others are looking for Neville for protection. The fools. He'll kill them like he did the others. That's right. I think Neville is the murderer. I can't prove it yet, but he'll slip up, just you wait. Whatever you do, don't turn your back on him. Let me ask you something, friend. Why is Primo even here? The rest of us need the money, but his family is wealthy beyond measure. Maybe he was bored, or maybe he just wanted to do some slumming. Or maybe he's a trained assassin hired to kill us all, one by one. Sound crazy? Well, these are crazy times, my friend. Don't go far. It's too dangerous to go wandering around this house. So many people dead. I just don't know who to trust anymore. My friend, please stay safe. 3 of us have been murdered. Besides you and me, there's only one guest left, if you know what I'm saying. I've seen death like this before. Many years ago, my daughter was murdered by bandits who came to our village. I'm sorry. I need a drink. You want to know how I really feel about Neville's death? I'm afraid. I may hate the Imperial Legion, but its members are trained warriors. Neville was probably the most capable fighter among us, yet he was cut down silently, just a few rooms away. I fear one of us is not who they appear. This isn't the work of some greedy houseguest. There's an assassin among us, you mark my words. We must watch ourselves at every step. Besides you and me, he's the only one left. By Ysmir, that boy will pay for what he's done. Come, we must kill Primo before he kills us.
Dear friend, 3 of the guests have been killed. You and I, we must stay close, band together for mutual protection. My friend, I'm truly worried. Neville was a strong and capable man, a soldier of 20 years. The rest of us will be easy prey for the killer now. I was right about him. He's been doing it. He's the killer. My friend, you and I have to end this. We must kill Nels before he kills us.
We did it, my friend. The killer is dead, and this nightmare is just about over. All we have to do now is find a way out of here. We did it, my friend.
Seeing you again is like a blessing from the Night Mother herself.
Not here, not in public. We must never speak to each other outside the sanctuary. The risk of detection is too great.
Well done. Not only did you kill the 5 guests, you acted as an agent of terror and grief. You have earned your reward and bonus, assassin. I lay upon you now the Night Mother's blessing. May she walk with you always and guide your hand as you act in accordance with the 5 tenets.
You are like a dark gift from the Night Mother herself. I hope I can help. The Count of Skingrad is not all he seems. Let's just say I'm not the only one who enjoys his evenings. Spill some blood for me, dear sister.